Hey everyone, I'm Almar of almarsguides.com, and this video here is my advanced plains biome tips and tricks. So we're going to go over different tips and tricks that will help you farm in the plains biome quite easily. And these are tips and tricks, basically stuff that I've learned after hours upon hours upon hours of farming here. As you can see, I have things quite set up already for my farming runs, and we're going to explain why this stuff exists, why I came to do this, etc., etc. So the first tip and trick that I'm going to give you is level the ground around cloudberries. As you can see there on the ground right here, I got 3 cloudberry markers here, and the reason that I want to level the ground around them is because I want them to stand out. As it is right now, cloudberries they basically blend in with the terrain, so it's very, very hard to notice them unless you're basically right on top of them. And this essentially makes it easier. You just level the ground around them, and then you can basically see them from a mile away because you'll see the leveled ground first. The second tip and trick that I can give you is to remove these bushes. These bushes will block your line of sight from goblins, from almost everything, and they're bad. They'll give goblins a place to hide and ambush you when you're running by, which you do not want, especially at night and especially when it's foggy. My third tip and trick would be to construct these pillars that you see all around the plains. These pillars are going to serve as your protection throughout the plains. Because if you are ever fighting anything and you need a safe spot, you can jump up on one of these pillars, so long as you have enough stamina, which is going to be basically the next thing you need to remember, is to always make sure you have enough stamina to retreat. And here's some cloudberries that aren't marked. So we'll just do this real fast to mark them. You won't be able to level the ground right over top of the cloudberry. Like if you right over top, it'll say invalid placement. Oop, there's a spear chucker. Didn't even notice him until he threw the spear at me. And since I keep killing goblins, that brings me to another one of my tips and tricks, and that is build a few chests or a central hub in the plains that you can stop at. Where you see me start this video, which I'll run back to now because I don't see... Well, let me check for locks over here real fast, because usually locks spawn over here. And it's worth noting too that locks always have the same spawn areas. Like, it's very, very unusual to see locks spawn in areas where you haven't seen them spawn before, and there's some cloudberries here. Notice how I haven't picked these because I didn't even realize they existed, because I couldn't see them. So we're just going to level the ground around them as per usual, and we'll clear these bushes too. Clearing these bushes is really hard without destroying any cloudberries. You need to like swing just right. And it's worth noting too, if you currently don't have the best arrows, or you don't have enough money to make good arrows, what you should do is farm a bunch of wood in the plains, and then you can make a workbench in the plains and do wood arrows. The damage difference it's noticeable, but it's small enough to where you can still easily farm here with the wood arrows, and then you'll be able to kill a bunch of the needler things, and you'll be able to get all of the goodies you need. And I'm pretty sure that I seen another group of cloudberries, so we're going to level the ground here too. No locks over here though. Usually there's a pack of locks that spawns over here by these rocks, but there was none right now. Another thing you should do if you have the time is to clear all of these trees. There's a death mosquito over there, but we're going to ignore him because these trees also will block your line of sight, which is not good. As you can see, I've started with the tree clearing down here, and it seems like some cloudberries are repopping. Here's another mosquito. 2 mosquitoes. We're going to have to use the shield for these guys. It's worth noting, too, that if you get the cadence just right, you can hit a mosquito before it even gets to you and hits you. Let me see if I can do it with this one. Oh, he's flying away from me. He's not flying towards me just yet. Come here, Mr. Skeeter. There you go. So you have to time it basically just right. There's like a maybe quarter of a second window where you can mess that up. Rewind the video if you need to see it, because that's timing those cadences right is something I'm quite proud of. And here's 2 locks, and I'll show you basically how these hills work. Now they're running away from me. I don't want that because I don't want them to get too far. Right up on the hill. Usually the enemies run away. Sometimes they attack the hill. It's hit or miss depending on what they do. I need a little stamina before I can do much more. When fighting locks too, you want to keep them away from your cloudberries. Or rather, you don't want to kite through your cloudberries because they will destroy a patch of cloudberries. They have no respect for their own food. They'll just destroy it. Man, my poison dye didn't kill him. Aha, they destroyed some stone too. Locks are cool like that. They'll destroy some stone underground and then it'll pop above ground when they stomp. It's pretty funny. And there is no rhyme or rhythm to these pillars that I have spaced out, but you'll notice I have them in quite a few places. I'm missing them in a few others. There's 2 death skeeters over here that I'd like to kill too, because they drop the needlers, which I need for arrows. These guys at this current point in time give you the best arrows in the game. Here's another, got the cadence right. Come here, little guy. Got the cadence right again. Man, that's 3 in a row. Sometimes you'll get wolves and drakes that spawn here too. I have no pillars around here though, which I do need to make one. I don't have enough stone though. I will show you how to make a pillar real fast. They're very easy to make. And it's also worth mentioning that you should, if you're not going to use the wood arrow trick, because you aren't cheap and you'd like to use actually good arrows, I don't blame you one bit. You might want to make a few arrow stands around the plains. Like, if you look at my map here, my first arrow stand is like somewhere in this area, and my second one is over here on the right-hand side. Because I put them on 2 different sides of the plains, just because I might be on the other side of the plains when I need arrows. And also, each stand has food in it as well as a few chests for where I can store my loot. Because all of those things are very important. Especially with your encumbrance limit in this game, and since we're farming black metal scraps, we're going to be getting a lot of black metal. We're going to be getting over encumbered quite a bit. We need a chest to drop stuff off. And you can either run it back, like once you get enough. We need to build a workbench first. Once you get enough black metal or loot from the plains, you have 2 options. You can run it back to the base yourself if you're playing on the same seed that your base is on. Or what you can do is you can put everything on your character, log off, log over to another seed, and drop everything off. And then basically log back on the seed that you're farming on, go to your main base or wherever you want the items to be delivered to. Then log back on the seed that you dropped everything in and basically pick up your loot, and then there you go. You got it. Log back on your normal seed and you carry all your loot a long distance without actually carrying it a long distance. And as for constructing these hills, you basically just want to do like a little 4x4 like you were seeing me doing, and it's actually high enough right now. Nothing's going to hit me, so we're just going to level off the top like this. And there you go. And that's how you build a hill in the plains for protection. And don't leave the workbenches around, because you want mobs to actually spawn around these hills. Because, yeah, we use the hills for farming, so El workbenchos, El bad. And as you can see, there's a few death skeetos, as well as a few cloudberries that I did not mark. So I'm going to destroy these death skeetos, mark the cloudberries. There's 4 in a row. Can we get 5 in a row? Ooh, we're up to 5 in a row. Probably going to stop bringing my shield with me. There's really no point in me bringing a shield out to the plains. This was the only zone that I needed it for, and now I don't need it anymore. The only thing I really use it for is the death skeetos, but even then, as you can see based on this video, I'm getting pretty good with the cadence of when they attack me and when to swing, so I can kill them in one hit without them even hurting me. But even if I do take a hit from them, it's not that big of a deal. It's only like 20 damage. And another big-ass tip that I can give you... There you go, I took a hit. A little bit too slow with the swing. Another big-ass tip that I can give you is do not fight the goblins like a strength user. And by that I mean don't fight them like a tank. Don't take hits from the goblins. Even if you're blocking it, don't take hits from the goblins. You want to fight the goblins as if you're an agility user. So, and by that I mean roguelike, essentially. You don't want to get hit by them, and you want to avoid almost every hit you can possibly imagine from them. Dance around, use the pillars, use your bow. Aha! Got those 2 right on cue. 13 out of 50. So far we're off to a good start with the needlers. Picking up the stones because we might need to build another pillar later. Or rather, I'm probably going to build another pillar later after I finish this video. I usually don't come over to this side of the plains, as you can see, because I still have a lot of cloudberries not marked. And what I was saying earlier that I don't think I finished is there is no rhyme and reason to how far I'm spread out these pillars that I've made throughout the plains. Essentially, I've just put them far enough away from each other that I can easily run to them. And I've also put a few of them, easily run to them from each other. So if I want to, you know, go from pillar to pillar in the middle of the night, I can. They're within a stamina's bar distance of a run away. Speaking of stamina. So like there's another pillar over there, and then I got one over there. And I think that's my furthest one over in this direction. I still need to make a few more. It's worth noting, too, you can use these pillars to kill an entire town of fullings. I'm going to be doing a video for that probably later today, because I've done it before, and it's fun and funny at the same time, because you're taking out an entire town of fullings with nothing more than basically a hoe and a bow, which I think I'm going to use as the name of the video. Killing an entire town of fullings with a hoe and a bow. Oh, cool, we didn't have a pillar over here. It was the natural stone pillars. Notice how these cloudberries blend in, but from a distance they did not. Like from a distance, there's red ones weren't appearing, so you can see the cloudberries there. But then when you get closer, the red flowers start to pop in. You can like no longer see them whatsoever. That's exactly why we mark them like this. Now we're going to switch to the bow. Well, actually, we're going to switch to the axe first and take out these death skeetos. Nope, he hit me. Come on, other death skeeto. There you go, you aggroed me. And it's worth noting that if you're going to be farming goblins, the best type of arrow you can use is the frost arrow because it slows down their movement speed, which is... Oh, he's going to destroy... Oh, okay, good. He didn't destroy the cloudberries. Thought he was close enough to the cloudberries to destroy them. But frost arrows reduces their movement speed. Big, 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 big help. Massive help. Gigantic help. Biggest help ever. And it's getting a little dark. So I would like to show you what it's like at night out here using the tricks that I've just shown you. Okay, so I still have enough arrows basically to make it throughout the night. Don't have the inventory space though. Getting kind of low. Then again, I can get rid of the skeletal stuff. Hey, look, cloudberries. Didn't even notice them. That is also why we mark them. Right next to us, and we don't even notice them. And that happens so often when they're in the red flowers. Here's a needle over there. And a death speedo. More cloudberries. Where'd the needle go? This is another reason that we like to mark shit, because it everything's so hard to find in the plains grass. It either depopped or we picked it up. It will forever be a mystery unless I go watch the video and figure out what happened. So I don't have enough stone to make a pillar. I have plenty of weight though, so I can pick up more stone, which is what I think I'm going to do right before it gets to night, which is already here. The locks respawn. There's the goblins. Now, if these guys have a spear chucker, that's bad for me. Notice how I, yeah, they do. Notice how I was able to take all of them out. Okay, I just can't pick up the coins. That's fine. I was able to take all of them out without hesitating or running away, and that's because of the frost arrows. Frost arrows are excelente. They're the best. Now, I have no pillar down here that I can actually stand on, which is very, very bad if I'm going to try to hunt the locks, but we're going to hunt the locks anyway. And there's one last tip and trick that I have not been able to show you yet, and if you made it in this far into the video, it's one of the more important ones, and that is build a forge on one of these pillars in the plains. You're going to need to repair your bow multiple times if you plan on staying out here for a while. I will show you once we're going to run in the direction of my plains base once I finish this locks. Well, actually, I want to show you the arrow stand first. Okay, we went through that stack of arrows, so now we have an extra inventory slot. How much does a full... Okay, so 1 pound per lox meat. So down here is our arrow stand, our swamp... Oh, there's a lox. Thought that looked like something, but I couldn't tell. Well, I think this locks just gave us enough stone for a another pillar too. Give me that. So over here is our other arrow stand. Is this a stone? Yeah, it is. This one is built on the swamp/plains border, as you can tell. Dagnabbit. And this one is basically just a workbench. We can make wood arrows here if we want. And a bunch of chests with stuff we need. So food in case we ran out while we're out here, and some arrows in case we ran out while we're out here. We can see a goblin in the distance over there. I would like a little bit more stamina before I engage with them, or to be closer to one of my pillars, because right now they're like on the opposite side of my pillar, which is not good. And as you can see, I didn't clear the trees in this area too, or the bushes to be more specific, which is very bad because they'll give the goblins cover. There could have been a group of goblins in those bushes and I could have been ambushed, which would have been very unfortunate. Thankfully, none of those goblins had any stars, so they weren't too challenging. I wish I knew how to explain the appropriate cadence for those death skeetos, but it's just kind of something that you get used to. There's a certain like distance where they are from you that you start the swing. Knowing how to play musical instruments probably helps too. It'll help you time things out quite well. So there's a goblin, and see how the bushes are giving him cover? I wouldn't be able to shoot them right now, nor can I actually see even how many of them there are. I can just see the goblin fire, that's it. Looked like it was just that one guy, which is unusual. It makes me kind of scared to go in the bushes. Some more locks down there, that's nice. My bow is getting a little damaged though, so that's not too good, but we want to kill these locks because they might despawn in the morning. I think these are nighttime locks. And what I mean by that is, if you haven't noticed, enemies that spawn specifically at night will despawn in the morning. So there's like patrols of like 5 goblins that sometimes roam through the plains, and those are nighttime goblins only. And they also spawn in meadows and Black Forest after you beat the game, which is worth mentioning too. Those goblin patrols, that is. It's rare, but you do see locks that share the same logic. They'll only spawn at night, and they'll despawn in the morning. So you got to kill them before the morning. Otherwise, you'll lose them. And notice how I'm using the rock to basically kite him around, because he can't run over the lump, basically. Well, he was able to come up there, that's for sure. But he has to go around the lump. He can't just run over it like I did. I think he kind of fell off there because of the frost arrow slowing him. So we'll get rid of this junk, because I want more of the locks loot. I need to repair my bow. It's about to break. It's getting really, really close. I can't take out those other 2 locks, but I'll remember where they are. I'll come right back to this location. So now I can show you my forge. Was that a cloudberry? Nope. Getting a little close to the mountain biome, which could be unfortunate if we aggro a drake, especially since we're wet and cold. And if you're wondering how to get the materials for a forge here, well, you have two options. You can bring them over on a boat, or you can do the log off, log out trick. And that is essentially basically log off, put everything on in a house on a different seed that you have, and then log off, and then put everything bring everything into this seed and store it in here and build with it and all of that fun stuff. Okay, so this is... Throw the fulling head in there too. That's our loot crate, and we'll make this one a loot crate too. Ooze bombs, we'll use a few of those, because I'd like to show you them. And honestly, I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to smooth out the entire plains so you don't have any foliage whatsoever for farming, because this foliage is annoying, super annoying. Now that it's daytime, the goblins that only spawn during night will depop, so will the loxes, so will the death skeetos. Nope, that was way too soon. That was too soon as well. Messing up the cadence. I'm going to go back to those locks and take them out. Hey, look, more death skeetos. Another 2. Man, they're just popping everywhere. On the upside, though, needles. That was too late. In particular, it's most important that you have a chest to store your black metal, because you won't be able to carry as much of it as you would like to bring with you. And I personally think it's a gigantic waste of time to keep leaving a zone to drop off loot and then return, leave the zone, return, leave the zone, return. So I basically create a chest in a good central spot, and then I only come to the zone to farm a shit ton, drop everything in the chest, and then I do one run when I'm done at the end of the day, or even days later when I've gotten enough loot. And as you can see, these locks do not depop in the morning time. Usually the way locks work is there are maybe 3 or 4 packs, I would say, up in the plains at any given time, and they usually spawn near the zone lines, near the shore, or near a goblin town, from what I've noticed. Those are the most common spawn locations that I've seen for locks. Anyway, though, that's all there is to it. I've basically showed you everything that I know about the plains, all my tips and tricks, and showed you a little bit of my farming run. Hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys around the next video. Peace.